All right, welcome in, folks, to the Can We Kick It podcast. I'm your co-host Mike, along with my cousin here, Chuck. What's going on, man?
Go Tigers. I got my purple and gold for this week.
Disgusting, so disgusting.
Yeah. Big game against the college I didn't go to versus your alma mater. So,
I can't. I'm nervous, dude. I can't wait. It's only a 2.5 point spread. A&M's at Baton Rouge. It's a night game. It's gonna be electric. Yeah,
yeah, it's one of those things where LSU should get whooped. I mean, A&M should really win, but it's hard to play in Death Valley um and at night and it's one of those scary games because they've sucked this year. But they'll come out and they'll beat A&M, and
I,
ruin your season.
I know it's a trap game. It's always that way. We've never won in Death Valley since we joined the SEC. I'm
Yeah,
50-50 on this game. If A&M beats LSU, do you think they fire Brian Kelly?
I hope so. They should have fired him before the season.
Totally agree.
Um, but I know we're off on a little tangent, but
Yeah,
Texas and Oklahoma are getting a taste of SEC football this year. It's
finally.
a different animal. I mean, like, you know, when Kentucky, Texas wins in overtime by field goal at Kentucky, who hasn't won a SEC game in like 10 straight games or something like that. It's it's not like Texas is going to play, well, I would say Kansas, but they lost to Kansas a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it's a different animal, so
Yeah.
they're getting a taste. But I mean, A&M seems to have kind of turned the corner into one of the premier teams in there. So
It feels like a different team. They had different swagger. So
yeah,
we'll see how it
well, they're
goes.
winning these games they usually lose. So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll see how November goes. That's always going to be the key. Um, but yeah, a lot of football going on. We love SEC ball. Um, Catching up. What have you been watching lately? I know I've been watching Last Frontier on Apple. I don't think that's something you've started yet, Jason Clark. Really weird spy conspiracy Alaska Frontier show. Um, DMV, which is on Paramount Plus, which is like a sitcom type show,
yeah.
but it's based at the DMV. It's got Queef from Righteous Gemstones. He's like the funny guy in it, but it's also got Tim Meadows. Second episode drops tonight. Devil in Disguise. I'm 2 episodes in. John Wayne Gacy. That is some crazy stuff that I didn't know the extent of. What are you watching right now?
Yeah, so I mean, besides Task, Slow Horses, Chair Company, which we'll talk about, um, I'm still watching Invasion. I'm still an episode or two behind. Um, and then sports, and I haven't started Devil in Disguise yet, hoping to tonight. And then I've been on a really weird Parks and Rec um, rewatch binge because I've kind of been studying the first, second, and third season for some reason. So I've been rewatching them over and over. So
And we are
um,
overdue for a rewatch of that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we do need to do one of our episodes where we kind of review like, one of the older series and stuff. But yeah, I need to, there's plenty of stuff to start. So
Yep.
I've we've got to get through now that finished up task. I'll add another to the queue, but Devil in Disguise is the next one. I've only watched 2 or 3 episodes of the Ed Gein
Hmm.
story. So
Yeah.
um but
Yeah.
yeah, lot going on, a lot I need to catch up on and start. So I'm in a good place now though when I can
Yeah.
finish one and I can start another. So
Right. Same. Finally got to that point.
yeah.
Um, yeah, you'll like Devil in Disguise. Rickon from Severance. He's also the brother from Orange is the New Black. Kind of a big role for him. He really comes off as a nice, charming guy. I'm waiting for him to flip it to where he's
Yeah.
crazy. And I know it comes later in the series, but he's killing it. I mean, the guy's incredible. And then it also the main detective in it. It's actually two guys. One is Tommy, who is from The Last of Us. He's Pedro
Hmm.
Pascal's brother. And then the other guy is the other dirty cop from The Departed that gets wasted at the elevator at the end.
Nice.
So it's got some big names in it. It's really interesting. Surprised it's on
Uh,
Peacock. Yeah.
I can't wait to get your take of an actor that we saw in another series that was in the finale of Task. So I don't
Yes.
know if you
Oh, yeah.
recognize the movie in
100%.
the
Took me a second, but then it clicked. Yeah.
I, I I have so many thoughts. Good and weird, but yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'd say we can jump into that. We could jump into
Yeah,
task slow horses. But
yeah, let's talk Task,
yeah.
the kind of closing out of the series because I think I have more to diagnose on Slow Horses and Chair Company.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. So, Task, the season finale was last night. We promoted it. We were pretty hyped about the show coming in. Um, Tom Pelphrey dies earlier in the series than expected. And now this last episode is about finishing up all the loose ends, and you got Graza, who's dealing with his guilty conscience about being a mole. Um, Tom and Aaliyah are trying to close the case on this whole thing while it's under investigation by like internal affairs or whatever.
Yeah,
And he's like taking in Sam, the like biker gang's kid. So it's like it's all about like putting the show to a close. But we see like Jason and Perry finally have the reckoning of Perry killing Jason's wife and like the
yeah,
Mother Club coming after both of them, which loved it. And I love how the Mother Club was like, "We'll worry about the money later. The bigger problem is we've got idiots on the loose." Yeah,
yeah. And that's with any, I mean, that's the logical thing. You have to get the loose ends tied up. And there was so many loose ends still out there.
yeah,
Um, and I mean, the money, it does no good if you get the money and you have the loose ends spilling everything. So,
exactly.
um, yeah. So I mean, I thought it was typical, like historical detective kind of wrapping everything up. We had kind of a few loose ends in the story as well that were all wrapped up, and, and kind of the conclusion of the orphaned child from for the couple that was killed in the drug shootout. And I think it wrapped everything up very nicely. It was nice to see Grosso kind of when he learned what was going to happen to go out and help save kind of Maeve,
Yeah,
and kind of have it was there was a point where he asked Tom if he was going to read him his penance, and he was like, we beat ourselves up already. And that's where, like, you know I think and you see it from the other cop that he encounters that um that shows up at Grosso's house to kill him. It was like the other cops like, it put my kids through college, and when someone, like, just think about Tom Homan. Someone presents you with a bag of money
yeah,
in real, I mean, there's choices people make. Some they don't have a choice, but um, who's to say what any of us would do, in that situation?
yeah,
And so it's kind of good to see because you genuinely think he was a nice guy, but kind of got caught up in the wrong thing for the right or wrong reason. So it
yeah,
was nice to see him kind of save the day there at the end, while that he's still, he's still a
yeah. A little bit
dirty
of
cop.
redemption, but he's definitely going to be
Yeah,
reaping what he sowed. I thought he was going to die, but the fact that they let him live at the
yeah.
but yeah, this show has like this existential religious undertones where he's like, "Are you gonna give me my penance?" And he's like, people beat themselves up enough as it is." And it's like coming out of left field, like between that and him talking about confession and stuff. I mean, it's pretty layered.
Well,
It's pretty good.
I think you said it a couple of podcast episodes ago. You're like, do you think he'll read someone his last rites before? Yeah, like, I mean, you were. I mean, they kind of were hinting that as like, you gonna basically, in my penance, or perform your former priest duties on me. I mean,
Right.
and that was a great call because you saw that coming. Even though, I mean, it could have ended where he kind of read him his last rites or forgave him and he dies. But
Right.
I mean, you see him. It says it's kind of it precludes him talking in court, forgiving Ethan,
Yes.
forgiving himself, going through the whole stages of. grief and history of gives us kind of a background of what they went through and the challenges, but you know, placing the burden on himself. And so I think I think you have 95% of the story is this, you know, task force drug gang, very contained, and then you have they devoted what the last 20 minutes to the emotional kind of ending to probably probably the least interesting of the stories, but I think what it did was tie it. Well, I guess the least told. I mean, you
Yeah.
have the camaraderie building between the biological sister and the adopted sister and that, and you dig into the family dynamic. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really, again, like a lot of shows, it's really a family
Yeah.
drama, a bunch of family dramas.
Right.
And the result of, usually the kids are the ones that end up getting fucked.
Yeah.
And whenever you have these in real life or fictional, um, these dramas, and the adults are the, you know, making decisions that are having, you know, difficult consequences
Yeah.
on children. So
Far-reaching consequences for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good ending. What would you rank the show out of 10?
Yeah, I think Mayor of Easttown was, I like Brad Inglesby. I like the shows he's done. I think I'd probably say like a 7.5. I mean, I really loved it. So it's it's tough because I think there were some really good, really intense scenes, really smart stuff. So I mean, I could range up to 8.5, but it was really good. I mean, HBO is good at this stuff. I'm glad. Hopefully it is contained to just I kind of would like to see, so I'll get your I'll ask you the same thing in a second, but I kind of would like to see a continuation of
Ooh.
Pennsylvania
Yes.
police dramas, in Mayor Easttown task, do something, uh, murder by chocolate in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I don't know, do something, but I think there's a good, I would love Brad Inglesby to do kind of like what Nick Palazzo did with True Detective,
Yeah.
and then he wasn't involved in season 4 and it sucked, Night Country. So yeah, Brad Inglesby doing like a Pennsylvania,
Give
crime
me a
drama.
give me a coal mine murder in Pennsylvania. That
Yeah.
that's
Or
what's missing right now. Yeah.
next season, coal mine, then Amish after that.
Oh, that'd be so good. Yeah. All right, we got to write these. Yeah, we got to write these shows ourselves. This
I'll
is
text Brad.
yeah. Um, yeah, I give the show a 7. I really liked it. The longer it went, the more I liked it. It was very layered.
Yeah.
Um, would you want to see if we did if it did have a spin-off or a second season? I mean, we just talked about anthology wise. If this show were to have a second season, what would be what would you want to see out of it? I can tell you for me, I'd want to see the Dark Hearts. I think
Yeah.
that's the greatest throwaway biker gang name I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the same. I would go Dark Hearts, really dig into the biker gang and the structure of that drug trade in Pennsylvania. And because we only cracked the surface, we just know this little patch in these towns. So, and then how their relationship between the other Freddie or whatever the other drug dealers are, the
Yeah.
Colombians,
Oh yeah. I
for
want to see
like,
more of that.
yeah. So, I mean, because from like the police perspective, um, Brandis is old, his boss is leaving, Lizzie is dead, who was the most intriguing of the tasks to me. Grosso would be in jail unless, they clear him of any wrongdoing, and then you have a show where he's going back to take revenge on the Dark Hearts or something. And
Yeah.
I don't think Aaliyah could carry, the show. I think she was good, and she was the one who was the best cop out of the bunch.
Yeah.
But I don't think that
Not
she
enough
doesn't
background
have
on her. Yeah.
the background or dimension of range in her character. So
Yeah.
I mean, would I like to see Grasso at home, like, with an ankle brace on, raising his two sons, his sister who is fucking Zero from Stick. So
Couldn't believe it when I saw it.
tangent, I'm watching Zero on the screen, who's great. I loved her. Like, she was a roller coaster ride in Stick. I hated her, loved her, hated her, loved her. Uh, but like in Stick, she was like high school or like late teens or early 20s. In this show, she's like 40.
Yeah.
Like,
Two kids or whatever. Yeah,
she has a son of her own. Like, I mean, I don't know. This is, I mean, her face can play younger or older, so that
yeah,
was pretty interesting. But yeah, my first thought is like, we still don't know how. We know Santi's like 17 in Stick, right? Or
yeah.
18 or something. And then, but Zero, we never know her age. Like, she's a vagabond. Like,
She's
uh
dressing up as a journalist to schmooze Timothy Oliphant, and then the next minute she's whale tailing it out by the 18th hole.
yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no,
Anything else on Task? I just that was a little. I love the choice when you have actors that. I mean, I bet she was probably cast in Task even before Stick, or
probably. Yeah,
so. But it was a little weird as a Stick watcher seeing. I was expecting Santi to like be one of the kids or
he's the
something.
dad.
Oh, that
It's
was great.
Stick, but like 8 years later. Yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that
Stick
was
to Electric Boogaloo.
yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I remember looking up and being like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, no, nothing
Yeah,
else on Task. I think I'd love to see it more go like True Detective, where it gets grittier. I mean, dude,
yeah,
the Halloween mask in the promo, which is all like black and yellow.
yeah,
I want more freaky stuff like that, like
yeah,
grit. But good show, great show. Seven and a half. We're right in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Um,
Slow horses.
yeah, that takes us into Slow Horses. You want to give us a quick recap on the episode?
Yeah, so we get to the we have a couple things. We have the two separate debate or two separate rallies going on for Jaffe and for Gimbal, and the slow horses split up. We have River and I always forget the guy's name.
Yeah, the hoodie
Um,
guy. Yeah, no
the
talk.
hoodie guy
Yeah.
going to the Gimbal rally, and Standish and Pipsqueak going to the Jaffe rally. I never remember her name either.
It's
She's
amazing
so
though. I
funny.
love it. Pipsqueak.
Um,
That's it.
and then Lamb being again one step ahead of everybody by um, tracking down Ho's
Tara or
girlfriend,
whatever her name is.
Tara.
Yeah.
So we get all that as basically with Gary Oldman. Why am I blanking again?
Lamb. Yeah.
With Lamb figuring out where Tara lived by switching the numbers of the address they gave Ho,
And then
which
going
we
through her
saw in a
trash.
prior episode. Like, we saw her looking out the window when Cartwright went over there. Um, and then yeah, Lamb goes through the trash, knows a lot of takeout. Lovely gets the guy to buzz him in, like, got a package for somebody upstairs and not answering. And they're like, buzz, it's like,
Yeah.
and so she figures that, he finds the phone, she calls a cab, he calls the cab company. They basically tell her, like, oh, she's at Ho's house now. And so, Lamb follows the flight and the other person there, and they flush her out, and Lamb just whacks her with the car door. I thought this episode was hilarious.
It was
It was
amazing.
the funniest slow horses ever.
Yeah.
And then I'll finish the thing and I ask you a question. So then we have at the different rallies, you think that the terrorists are going to go to Gimbal's rally, but they're at Jaffe's rally. Um, Pipsqueak and Standish, they uh, kind of figure it out. Pipsqueak goes up there, halt, kind of stops the attack, but Standish throwing a water bottle on stage at Jaffe and saying something. Yeah, and running, and no one like stops her. She's just like old lady running out of
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Um,
Jackie was like, "Wow, they really evacuated because somebody threw a water bottle at him, like the whole place." Like,
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. And then yeah, and then the back and forth with that and the gimbal rally, and we end with at the gimbal rally, Jaffe's campaign manager, also Muscle, shows up and is arguing with Gimbal, punches him in the face outside while Gimbal's going through his speech and seems like he's going to tell them he's really not from the UK, which we discovered early in the episode that he's from Turkey. And
Yeah, he's a foreigner
then,
railing against
yeah,
immigrants. Yeah, hilarious.
yeah, yeah. Well, and which is happening in the US
Yeah,
and other
100%.
countries too, and everybody come, so it's a good way to show
Every political
this.
comment in the show is so relevant to today because it's
Yeah,
literally happening. Yeah,
yeah. And then we have Cartwright shows up and the hoodie guy's up on the like this scaffolding and he's coming down and Cartwright's fighting with Jaffe's campaign manager and Gimbel's there and pulls a gun on the campaign manager. He runs off and as the hoodie guy's coming down, a paint can falls and hits Gimbal on the head, killing him and getting pink paint all over Cartwright and hoodie guy and him are down and Cartwright are down there going. They're like, I don't even remember what they said, but it was
they're just
like,
like, "We should probably go, huh?" And he's just like,
yeah,
"Yeah," and they
yeah,
just
yeah.
like walk off.
I was cracking up. I just thought it was like, I don't know. I was laughing. It was, but yeah. So where do we go after this episode? Like,
I
what happens from here? There's what? That was episode 4. So we have
Yeah,
2 more episodes.
there's two more. Uh, I
Does
don't know.
Cartwright and Hoodie get caught on CCTV? Do we get some kind of come up and does it get whitewashed? Does Jaffe get exposed? Because I think he's behind all this terrorist because the
Right.
son,
Is the eco?
what do you
Yeah.
think?
I don't know. It's a tough one. I think he wins the election. But MI6, MI5, whatever, has him in their pocket, basically. Like they do,
Yeah,
like the first chair was like hooking up with an escort and was being blackmailed by
yeah,
by Gimbal and his reporter journalist wife, and then he blackmailed them back. It's just a game of who's got more dirt on the next person.
yeah.
Uh, I think they ultimately, obviously, stopped the unrest and all of that stuff, but ultimately winds up everybody's working for MI5 and Lady Di. Um, is this show still about River anymore? I mean, was the first season not about River just being in Slough House trying to get out, and now it's about everybody?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely transition because it
Yeah.
was River was too good to be there, and he
Yeah.
was like the hotshot detective, hotshot MI5 agent until he messed up, the very first episode of the first season, kind of like a terrorist thing at the airport. I forget the whole scenario, but I just remember him like
It's
running through and
yeah, and Spider
um
screwing him over. Yeah.
yeah, Spider screwing him over. So um now. Now it's more about the collective and it's kind of more Slough. I mean, it's always been Slough House versus the park, but I think it's delving into more of the collective and more of Lamb and what Lamb's kind of unique detective abilities rubbing off on the rest of the
Yeah.
crew. Now, it'll be interesting to see because I think pretty much someone has died every season from the
Yeah.
Slough House crew, but they haven't kind of hinted towards that,
Yeah.
but it does seem like River is more sidelined this season, especially after his whole time trying to get back to the park, and then his grandfather storyline, and then the whole last season was based on his grandfather and him and
Yep.
his dad, and so it's been an interesting kind of shift, which I think is good because I think there's good characters like you're seeing more of Ho, the hoodie guy.
Yeah.
Um, Standish is clever, and then Lamb just shines above everybody. So
Is Lamb just using the slow horses to distract the park while he actually does all the work? Or could he get more out
it
of the paperclip than he could out of the slow horses?
no, I think he's good as like using them as a distraction,
Yeah,
but also he knows they have some value besides just a distraction. I
yeah.
think there's a reason they were in MI5, and it was just funny that even in this episode, um, Roddy is like, I know when to end the call when you're done tracing at a minute, and then she's like, well, we're at 30 seconds now since you left,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's but there are reason they were at the park, and there's reasons why they were sidelined,
yeah,
but I think it's definitely Lamb is a notch above everybody.
yeah.
Um, and
With the
I think the
greatest line in
park,
British history of all time. Yeah.
yeah, and I think the park is basically like, um, is like they don't want him to retire, get rid of him because he's good,
He's the
but they just
failsafe.
don't want him around.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just like,
he's not gonna get an office at the park. Like, let's keep him in
yeah,
his shithole. Like, but let's
yeah,
let's pull the pin, let's break the glass when we have to. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So
Um,
it's still a
yeah,
great show. I was promoting it to everybody who hasn't seen it like
love
just
it.
last week. So
Yeah, love Slow Horses, and they have a new show coming. I can't remember the name of it, but from the creators of Slow Horses, there's a new one coming to Apple TV. So we'll
yeah.
promote that as well. Um, move on to the chair company.
Yeah, let's finish it up with the chair company.
Yeah, so we see Ron Trosper. I think we left off with him getting bonked on the head by a
Yeah,
guy in the parking lot, and he is trying to figure out who the hell that guy was. He's got the shirt, obviously. He finds the pipe in the
yeah,
parking lot that he got knocked out with. Um, this show is hilarious in so many ways that I don't understand how funny it is until I
yeah,
start to think about how dumb it is, and then I
yeah,
realize it's pretty great. Um, yeah, Ron is trying to figure out, who this guy is. He's trying to manage his workload, his family. He's got to go give an interview for the news at a job site, and on the
hmm,
way he's going to stop and he's got the shirt, so he's going to see. He figured out who makes the shirt, who sells it in the area. So now he's going to go check it out. And like while he's like on his way there, his coworker's following him, and like tries to lose her in traffic, blows through
yeah,
a red light. She almost dies, and she's like crying, and he's like, "Oh, oh, well,
yeah,
yeah, she's okay," and just takes off. And you can just hear her like crying. Uh,
yeah,
that was the funniest part for me. And then he gets to the shirt club, and the salesman is like, "Oh, I know this guy. Yeah, it's like a members only thing. Like you got to be a member to like join the members only nights and all that stuff." And he's just bullshitting him. And like he's like, you see, the guy has just stretched the shirt out, and he like puts a basketball under it, and he's like, it's to the max, and you're just like, what is this guy talking about?
yeah.
It's so
It
ridiculous.
it's just like intensely wild. Like, I mean, there's a couple of things that I was thinking of is when I mean, he spends all this time investigating the chair breaking it leads to this, and the guy hits him in the head, and he tracks the guy down. Like, he goes to the cafe
Oh yeah,
where
when
he
he found the
finds the
food out in the parking lot
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
after watching the
and
Peeping Tom video.
that's where the guy
What?
yeah, that's where the guy works. He's a security guard because apparently this cafe is like people accosting each other inside there, and then
The
the
Waffle
kitchen
House
starts to
inside
fire.
a Waffle House.
Yeah, and when they go in the back room and the guy pretends to have like a heart attack, and Tim Robinson's like, and then he's like,
Walks
and he
out.
just walks out and closes the door.
Oh my
It's just like,
God.
it's just so stupid. Like, I mean, his comedy style is very over the top, over
It's
the
so
top, and
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
he when he's looking under the car and trying to figure things out, and when he leads him to finding the food and laying down. Everybody's walking by looking at him, and the Brenda lady, I think, his boss or whatever, is like, It's like I dropped a freaking Hershey's hug under here. Like,
Gonna want
it's
it
just
later.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
And
He just
it
pulling shit out of his ass, dude. It's so funny.
and I rewatched the first episode of Blanca because we were trying and she wanted to watch comedy. I was like, you should watch this. And just like the whole thing, he's trying to get the old lady to get up and go get snacks because like it just he's telling the people when he's coming to the tech and chair company that like there's like an old like basically an old lady that it could happen to that they could fall through the chair and
Could
he's
die.
like recording he like closes the blinds like peeks through with his camera and his phone and he's trying to record. It's just like this whole
Oh,
office is insane and it's just this whole I think it's a good microcosm of people. You know, you go down these rabbit holes because you can find everything on the internet. You know, it shows them multiple times on Amazon. Like he's looking at a fingerprint kit.
like it was
He's
fake.
yeah,
The
and
little hat was just a hard, like it was a fake hat.
yeah,
Got swindled
yeah,
out of like $130.
yeah. And and then like just the other side part, like his daughter that's marrying another woman and they're changing their wedding venue to a haunted house and he has to convince the other parents that like that's a good idea.
You know?
And you could tell like he has a like is a great like family man but homie, but he's like a raging doofus like at work.
Yeah.
But I mean I think so like what do you think is actually going on? Do you think that his company is trying to set him up for something? Do you think there's something with the chair manufacturer? Like, I mean, what do you think's the actual? I mean, this is one of those shows that I have no idea what's going to happen and what's going on. I mean, it kind of point to like, okay, Lou Diamond Phillips' character is he doesn't like him and maybe he's setting him up, but um,
I have no
I don't
idea.
know.
I have no clue where the show could go. I think he'll like finally like find out that the chair company just is a shitty chair company and he just loses it.
Yeah,
And he like winds up getting himself fired or something. I don't know, but it's just it. I have no idea if any of this is actually real or if he's actually
yeah,
onto something or Tim Robinson just is like he's like a normal guy who just loses his shit over everyday stuff like trying to pass the lady in the hallway.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
always something like that that he can't let go. Is any of this actually worth it? And I think that's the funny part about
yeah. Yeah, and it goes in the first scene of the first episode where they're at dinner and the waitress says she hasn't been in a mall since she's 14 and he's going nuts over it. And then right in the next scene, they're home and he's like, "There's a freaking pillow."
it.
Like
Pillow's
he's
made
yelling
out
at
of
his
metal.
pillow in the middle. Yeah, and Blanca's like, I can relate to that. She hates her pillows, and it's like,
Yeah.
but it's just he I mean, his character, I mean, his all of his shows, his characters are over the top, and he's playing himself, and as he's in every other show. So I think but I mean, he's absurd, and even I mean, in improv, when you took improv, you have the beauty of like improv and stuff, and any comedy is you have like absurd, and straight, or straight, and absurd, or not everything can be absurd. So with everything going on, like even in the office, and you and I are very corporate America historically, it's just some of the stuff that happens is very straight to his absurdity. It's like, okay, someone brings snacks and everybody goes gets snacks. There's always the lady like, hey, I know you didn't mean to do this, but I'm gonna let HR know so there's no, but
On
you
my
have
birthday.
these, yeah.
What does that
No,
have to
that
do
was
with
absurd.
anything? Like,
Yeah. But it's even the, I mean, even the, like he's a project manager and
yeah,
but it's kind of like he's this absurd character that takes things too far, very over the top in this kind of straight world. In the end, he's leading a project to build a mall
yeah,
and he's very distracted because the chair broke
because he got embarrassed.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I
the
love it.
premise is
Like
insane, but
his comedy is so ridiculous. I mean, like the pervert video that he's HR's making him watch because he's not a pervert, but he's just like, what the hell? And then
Yeah.
like it's so funny how like it's like somebody's like oh accidentally like did a cleavage look and then it's like the next
Yeah.
scene it's like the guy laying like on the sidewalk like from the like who would do that? Like that was so fucking funny. Oh my God. He's
That
just
was
so
great.
yeah. I can't wait to see where the show goes. I hope at the end of it he like resolves it and it's nothing and then somebody comes up to him at the end and is like stop looking into the chair company and roll credits and then like that's it. Yeah. It just never
Do you
ends
think
for
is
him.
this multiple seasons or do you think it's one season?
I think it's one season. Yeah, but it would be funny if they just left it that way. Yeah, like he
I
just
think they
going
should.
insane.
Well, I think it should have been like so they have the chair. He figures out there's a chair coming, and there's nothing behind it, and then he gets a new chair, and then he's sitting at his desk, and he presses down on the desk to stand up from his chair, and the desk collapses, and he falls like face forward. And then next
Yes.
season, like it's another company that makes the desk, and he is
Yeah.
just or
Yeah. He like stands
it.
up and it breaks, and he's like, "Oh, come on!" Like he just leaves it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. That I would watch. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I watch anything with him. I
he's
mean,
so
I
funny.
took it took me a while to get into him, but once I did, Detroiters and
Yeah.
I think you should leave or I think whatever the show is there. It's
Yeah.
great.
Do you watch Friendship?
I still haven't watched it. I gotta find time to do that.
You'll love it. Yeah, that's great. Anything else on the chair company?
No, I'm enjoying the laugh because I everything I've been watching is deep or dark
Yeah.
and except for rewatches of comedies that I like. So it's nice just to have like an absurd comedy going on right now.
Yeah. Jackie watched the last 5 minutes of it and couldn't understand why I was laughing. And I was like, it's not for everybody. I get it's not for
Yeah.
everybody, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. Any other shows? I know we got some shows coming up. Anything before I jump into that?
No, just yeah, nothing else for me.
Sweet. Yeah, we've got a lot of shows coming up. We'll continue to talk about the chair company, slow horses. We're done with Task. We've got It, Welcome to Derry coming up on HBO. That's coming out in 4 days. That's going to be
Yeah.
on October 26th. Looks pretty freaky. I enjoyed the new updated movies. Um, then we've got a show called Death by Lightning, which is a limited series that's going to be on Netflix. That's got Michael Shannon and Matthew McFadden, and it's about the
Oh, nice.
assassination of James Garfield.
Oh, wow.
And it's like a 3 or 4 episode like series. It looks
Yeah.
really good. And then we've got Landman coming. That's going to be on November 16th. And then we've got pretty much Stranger Things coming around Thanksgiving. So we got quite a
Yeah,
few shows coming up. Yeah.
I gotta start watching that
Yeah.
to remember
To get
since
caught
it's been
back
like
up.
5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So, yeah. Anything else from Cousin?
No, nothing else for me.
Awesome. Well, appreciate everybody for kicking it with us this week. Tune in next week. We'll be talking slow horses and all the other shows. Check out the podcast platforms and the Instagram. And as Cousin likes to say,
Peace.